Are you seeing that notification about the huddle?
Yeah. Let's try putting it back in.
Why do we have a picture of Andre the Giant with a rock?
Yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands is open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report, and it is Thursday. And if you've been on this show before, then you know that Thursday is our lock picks. We're going to pick them today. We're going to look forward at all of the games in week 2 versus the spread. Michael and I here in a minute. We are broadcasting live right now into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page, and we did cross over 53,000 on week 1, just like we said we would. And there we are, 53,000. We appreciate anybody that likes, follows, shares this content out there, as it helps us reach more people. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys over there at Detroit Lions News Podcast right there. We appreciate all the help that we're getting from the Detroit Lions News Podcast, allowing us to broadcast into your platform, JC Sports and Villain Squad on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and help us get to the new heights. We've been trying to build this YouTube channel. Go over there and give us some subscribe and help us get over 1,000 people with that. And we're not going into that other place right here, but this is something that we believe in here: faith, family, and then football. And that allows us to have other fan bases in here, like the Packer fans and the Viking fans and the Bear fans. And we can come in, we can talk a little bit of trash. I don't have to hate on Mike, the Bear fan, or Bill, the Packer fan. I can love on the person, but I can still hate your team right here. And we have a couple of guests. I don't know if I can bring them in one by one right here. So I'm going to have to do a shindig. Oh no, he's in the back right now. I could probably get Mike in here right now. Give it up for main event Mike.
Good morning, Russ. I'm having some issues with my headphones and microphone, so I hope everyone can see me and hear me.
I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay.
So, we have a special guest in here today that's going to help us with our prediction. This is our prediction show right here. We're going to go through all of the games. So welcome to the program. This is ex wide receiver from the Detroit Lion, Mark Schmidt.
Hi guys, how are you today? Can you hear me okay? Hang on one second.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I always make sure. I'm not a technical genius over here. So
apparently neither are we. So we're having all kinds of issues all over the place, but that's all right. As long as they can hear us out there and I'm getting some decent reports from the comments so far. Let's say hello to some of the guys that are in here right now. Fred Peterson. Good morning, Fred Peterson. Good morning, Big M. Villain Squad, another day closer to being 2-0. Let's go, baby. We like that. Henry Gray is in the house. Good morning, Lions family, Villain Squad. So blessed to be a Lions fan. Dwayne Keene is in the house. Davey is in the house. Smoking Jeremy B is in the house. And these were all the people that were here before the automatic promo comes up for our Lions YouTube page, the Lions Villain Squad YouTube page. Now, you have to understand, Mark, that we put these things in there. It's like an automatic thing that happens. I hit it. I don't even do it. These are people that were here before the show even started, ready for this show. So I appreciate that. Broski Bears in the house. So, and Paul Jones. I don't know if I already mentioned Paul Jones or if that's your second comment right there, but yes, let's get this thing going. I'm going to turn it over to Mike because this is his show. He's the one that loves all the point spread. So let's go.
Good morning, Mark Schmidt. Such an honor to have you on the show as always. We're going to run through these picks, and I'm going to keep track of what you pick, and then we're going to hold your feet to the fire next week. Is that okay?
Yeah, I got it. Of course, Mike. Yeah.
Of course, I've lost my ink pen. So here, let's see.
No, we take some chances on this show. Come on. But
that's right. We are risk takers. We're the villains.
Yeah, it's not like gambling's legal now, so there's people out there that are writing this stuff down and saying, "Okay, that's the way I'm going." So we have a responsibility.
First on the slate is a game that there is going on tonight. It is Buffalo at Miami, -2.5. Josh Allen is the Dolphins' daddy. He is 11-1 in his last 12 games against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 2.5 at home. I think that this is a division match. I'm going to go with Miami, and I'm going to lay the 2.5. I know that that's risky when you're talking about Josh Allen. He's going to do everything he can to try to win and keep it close. But main event Mike's going Miami, and I'm going to lay the 2.5. Mark Schmidt, we'll kick it over to you. Buffalo at Miami -2.5.
Well, first of all, I'm in the Buffalo area, so it's appropriate that we start off with this game, and obviously chronologically speaking as well. So, they've got, Waddle got his money, Tyreek Hill got his money, Tua got his money. Within the division of the AFC East, which I know very well because I live in that area, they are there to beat Buffalo. That's what Miami is there to do. That's what the signing of those guys are. It's all about the division, as you guys know. When you start off the season, and obviously before the playoffs, it's about winning the division. I don't believe the Jets will be a factor. I don't believe New England will be a factor, even though both of them played fairly well on Sunday. I'm going to go with you, Mike. I'm going to take Miami -2.5. I think it's time for a little shift here. Buffalo is good, but they're not as good as they were.
Wow, Mark Schmidt going against the Buffalo Bills. They're going to spit in your coffee at Starbucks, Mark. So,
love you, Mike.
Jeremy B points out that Devin Ashane is out and Raheem Mostert is also out. Well, Mostert's out and Ashane is questionable, but they got a couple of good young wide running backs back there, Jeff Wilson and Jalen Wright. So I think that with the depleted secondary of Buffalo, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot anyway. What do you think, Russ? Buffalo at Miami -2.5.
Well, somebody's got to take these Bills right here, and I think that you hit the nail right on the head, Mike, that Josh Allen is the Dolphins' daddy. So give me the Bills. I'll lay the 2.5 points.
Wow.
Okay. All right. And it should be noted that Russell Wayne is batting well over 75% over a 3-year period on his lock picks. We are going to take one game, Mark, from this entire slate and make it your lock pick, the one that you're going to die on a hill with. So we'll get those at the end. Next game on the docket is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Baltimore Ravens, -8.5. The Raiders looked terrible against the Chargers last week. Baltimore didn't look great, but they were playing the Chiefs. So it was a tough game. I think Baltimore wins this game for sure, but 8.5, that's a lot in the NFL. I'm going to take the Raiders on the road because I'm getting 8.5. That's main event Mike's pick. Mark, what do you got? Raiders at the Ravens, 8.5.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are a better football team, and the Raiders didn't play well in that first week. I think they're a little bit better than that. Anytime that Gardner Minshew has kind of faltered in this league, he's really come back. He's not a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. He's consistent. And I like what you like. I like the Raiders plus 8.5 on the road at Baltimore. I think Baltimore just be happy to get out of there with a win. I think the Raiders will play really, really hard this Sunday.
Good call. Russ, what do you got? Raiders at Ravens.
Guy, and both of you guys took the despair, and you know how I hate taking points, man. Like all these points, it's so much in the NFL to lay more than a touchdown, to beat a team by more than a score in the NFL. It just seems like it's a really, really hard thing to do. But I mean, I don't know. These Ravens look pretty. They're like, Super Bowl contending, and the Raiders play pretty good on defense, but I'm just going to pick against you guys. I'm going to go ahead and take these Ravens, and I'll go ahead and lay all the points and think Lamar Jackson's just going to have one of those games,
There you go. Let's take a look at the comments right now. Jeremy B says he's going with Buffalo. And then Paul Jones says, take the points. The Ravens play to the flow of the game usually, which keeps it close. So there you go, Russ. Couple of tidbits for you there.
I'm on an island, baby. I don't care. Let's go.
Next game on the slate is the San Francisco 49ers at US Bank Stadium in Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings are getting 5.5 against the NFC champions. Last year, this game, Minnesota took it to them and beat them in the same stadium. I'm going to go ahead and take San Francisco because they look like a machine against a much better defense in New York than what they're going to be looking at in Minnesota. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the 5.5 and take the Niners. What do you got, Mark Schmidt?
Well, I think, is McCaffrey going to play, or is this going to stay a mystery until 20 minutes before the game, which is illegal in the NFL? Anyway, go ahead and get that in. A team's got to be able to prepare for you. You can't do that, half hour before. That's not right. Anyway, I like Minnesota in a lot of the things that they have on that team. I really do, even without Kirk Cousins being there anymore. But I'm along the lines of that 49er machine, as you say, Mike. And I've got to take San Francisco minus that 5.5 in Minnesota. That's my call.
Russell Wayne.
Yeah, they're in Minnesota. They're getting those 5.5 points in Minnesota, but the 49ers are just too damn good. I gotta agree with you guys on that. And I don't know, that might have been one I wrote down wrong.
So there you go. That's our first game where all three of us collectively agree. It is the Niners minus 5.5 against the Vikings. And our resident Viking fan, Sarah, says San Fran has not won in Minnesota since 1992, just to let you know. So that's a good call out, Sarah. Appreciate it. Next game on the docket is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Carolina Panthers +6. Panthers are a dumpster fire. I just don't understand some of the moves that they've made. They're not doing anything to really help their young quarterback. I think I didn't believe in the Chargers. I took the Raiders last week against the Chargers, but I underestimate Harbaugh, like always underestimate this guy. He always comes through. I'm going to go ahead and lay the 6 points on the road because I just don't believe in the Carolina Panthers enough. So main event, Mike's going with the Chargers -6. Mark Schmidt, what do you got?
You know, they're you're right, and they're a little bit of a train wreck. Are the Panthers? There aren't too many train wrecks in the NFL right now. This is probably it. There may be one other team that goes along that terminology, but you know, it's a tough one because teams bounce back and they're getting points at home. They don't have a good opening week, and they play really hard. And that's where I know this is kind of an odd one, but I'm going to go with the Panthers at home and take those points at home. It's just the way I look at the NFL sometimes after a bad week, coming back fairly strong the next week, especially at home getting points. That's probably, a 60% or more chance of that you're going to be okay. However, and I'm going to end it right here. However, this is one of if you rated the teams right now, they'd probably be 31 or 32. So, this one is probably the most difficult one to pick in my mind.
Wow.
But
you're taking Carolina and the point. We love to take the home team when they're getting points because of the parity in the NFL. These teams are so evenly matched on so many levels. So there we go. We're split down the middle, Russ, and you're going to break the tie for us. What do you think, Chargers at Panthers?
You know what? I love a guy that's going to go and take an offensive lineman in the first round of the draft to understand, look, I'm building the cornerstone of this franchise, just like the Lions took Penei Sewell. I love Harbaugh as a coach, especially now that he's not at Michigan anymore. So give me the Chargers, and I'll go ahead and lay them points.
Right on. Next game is New Orleans at Dallas -6 in that bum Derek Carr running the team there. I'm going to go ahead and take Dallas -6 because I just don't think New Orleans has enough. That Dallas defense with Mike Zimmer, a lot of different looks than what they saw last year. Zimmer loves to bring linebackers up to the line of scrimmage and then drop them back in coverage and disguise his defense. I think that's going to give Derek Carr fits, and I think they win this game by 2 touchdowns at least. Give me Dallas -6.
Yeah, Mike, I'm surprised that this spread is not 9. Right. That's just what strikes me. I think you guys both agree with that. But it's early in the season. These teams play well. They're not running for the bus, and they're 1-6. And a game like this, in that case, would be a 9, maybe even a 10. But a 6-point spread here leans me toward a Dallas who's playing at home. Derek Carr, I like his attitude. I like his interviews. I know we're getting on him a little bit here, but yeah, he comes out. It's kind of guy you want to have a beer with. Kind of sort of been through a lot in the league, had some success, had some failures. But I like the guy. But the Dallas Cowboys have got CeeDee Lamb signed, and they obviously have Dak signed, and they're on a little bit of a roar here. Not to use a Lion terminology, but I'm going with Dallas, and I'll give those points, and I'm Cowboys all the way on that one.
Yeah, I like that call. Russ, what do you got?
I'm going to break this tie right here. You keep calling Derek Derek Carr a bum, and that's okay. He may not play very good, from time to time, but he doesn't play defense, and the Saints actually play defense, and they kind of came out and, got hot right at the beginning of the season. Derek Carr didn't look quite like a bum. So I think this game's just going to be closer than that. The Cowboys may win the game, but they ain't going to win by more than 6.
Wow. Smoking Jeremy B says the only reason New Orleans looked good was that they played the Panthers, right? Paul Jones, I love this comment. The Panthers are ranked 34th in a 32-team league. So, Jeremy says, you said it right the first time, Russell. Derek Bum is a car.
They're from the car.
That's just our thing here. That's our thing here. Mark Schmidt is we love to bag on Derek Carr.
Okay.
It's just a personal thing with me because my favorite AFC team is the Raiders, and he just never did a damn thing out there. He's never won nothing. He's not even the best quarterback in his own family. So moving on. The Indianapolis Colts at the Green Bay Packers +3. So in Lambeau, the Packers are an underdog to the Colts. That tells you how bad Malik Willis is expected to play. I am going to take this one. I don't know, guys. I'm going to have to defer to you because I just don't know. Mark Schmidt, Indianapolis Colts at the Packers +3.
The Colts are, a question mark. They just are right now. Green Bay is still a good football team. They're at home. I loved it. I love a lot of things about Green Bay. I think they proved premature in signing Love. In my opinion, a lot of people said he had 7 good games. I know the show expands a lot on the NFC North, so we want to touch on that, of course. But I'm going to take the Packers at home. That's just what I'm interested in doing right now. That's what my gut tells me. I don't know about my brain, but my gut tells me Green Bay.
Same here. Gut tells me Green Bay, but I just can't get – I always love to lean towards the better quarterback. And with Malik Willis, who's never thrown for 100 yards in 3 starts in this league, he's had 3 starts and never thrown for even 100 yards. Indy can score and Green Bay has a better defense than what people think. I think this Green Bay defense is much better than what people think. Mark Schmidt's taking the Packers. What do you got, Russ, on this one?
Man, I got the Colts winning big in this game. I mean, you got Malik Willis. This Colts team is a team that drafted Anthony Richardson #1 with their first round pick, and he got injured last year. And this is a team that might actually be pretty good against a team that just lost their starting quarterback. I don't know if Jordan Love is he going to go, or I heard some stuff that was out there. I don't know if that's just fluff out there with all that scam stuff. But no, actually, I'm going to take the Colts. I'm going to go ahead and lay the 3 points, and I'm going to make that my lock pick.
Ooh, how about that, Packer fans? Russell Wayne taking the lock pick. The Colts are going to come into Lambeau and beat the Packers. I'm going to ride with you on this one, Russell. I'm going to take Indianapolis too. And the reason is because of what Sarah Zhang is saying here. No quarterback to throw to the receivers in Green Bay. And the Colts can score, she says also. So great call out there by Sarah. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts as well. That is Russell's lock pick. Wow, he's giving the lock premature even. We normally wait until the end for the locks, but he's just calling it right now. I love that.
I had to. I'm sorry.
The next game.
What Andre the Giant says about this. Anyway.
That's great.
Nice. So the next game is those damn Seahawks at the New England Patriots +3.5. Tough one. Gerard Mayo, what a great performance in his debut as head coach, goes in and beats the Bengals in Cincinnati. A real shocker. Everybody got eliminated from the survivor pool on that one. I don't know if they can duplicate it at home. But Seattle won their first game. They got a rookie coach. This one's tough as well. I'm going to go ahead and take New England and hope I win with that 3.5, that 0.5 on there. They are the home team, and they're getting points, and that's something I love to bet. So I'm going to take the Patriots. What do you got, Mark Schmidt?
I got New England also. I love the points at home. They played a great football team. I'm a Cincinnati fan. I was there for a little bit back in the day. It's a tough call because, Seattle is probably on paper the better football team. I think New England's riding a little bit high after a Cincinnati win. I think they're going to keep that going. Sometimes you're waiting to hear from the people that are interviewing or podcasting and say, oh, well, they played well in Cincinnati. They'll have a fall down the next week. No, I don't think so. I'm taking the Patriots and the points at home. Absolutely.
Love it. What do you got, Russell?
I'll lay the 3. Give me the Hawks.
3.5.
New England's not that good. They're going to get ran on. The thing is, with the Cincinnati Bengals, is they can't run the football, and and that's the kryptonite to that. I mean, they catch Joe Burrow off guard, really. I think in week 1. Yeah. Give me the Seahawks.
Right. No T. Higgins in that game, also. But still, New England starting out 2-0. If they do win this game, who would have thought it? One thing, though, a caveat to this is that Geno Smith is 8-9 lifetime on the road. He does not play well on the road. It's those 3.5 points that do it for me. Even if Seattle does win this game, I like the 3.5. But Russ, you're laying 3.5, taking the Seahawks. We got Henry Gray who says Seattle. Single Dads Club. Been a while. What's up, buddy? Glad to see you in here. What else we got? Broski Bear says Anthony Richardson could get banged out the first series. That's a great call. Anthony Richardson only has 18 games under his belt since high school. We're talking college pros combined, 18 games. Wow. But did you see that 60-yard dime he dropped last week right in the bucket? This kid is a physical freak, and he's so intriguing. I hope he does go into Lambeau. I hope he goes into Lambeau and runs all over the pack. Next game. New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans plus 3.5. The Titans getting 3.5 at home against the Jets. Will Levis looked terrible in that second half in Chicago last week. This is a tough one. I took the Jets against the Niners and got burned, but I also took Tennessee against the Bears and got burned. And I'm going to go ahead and take the home team because they're getting points, and I love to take the home team at points. So I'm taking Tennessee plus 3.5. Mark Schmidt, what do you got here?
Wow, this game is just this is a tough one. This probably is the toughest one I think to call right now, because the Jets are so due. They didn't play obviously their game that they needed to play against San Francisco. Credit to San Francisco. Will Levis, I think he's a good quarterback. Every time I tune in and see him play, he's played well. But I don't know. I think the Jets are gonna. Bounce back. I really do. I'm going with New York on this one, and Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's a really good call, actually, Mark, because there's a lot of pride on that football team. They're the oldest team in the NFL. A lot of veterans on that team, and I think they have high expectations for this year, and they're going to light a fire under that team and try to take it out on the Titans. But that's 3.5 on the road that you're laying. Russell, what do you like?
Man, watching that my mind says take the Titans, take the Titans, take the Titans, but then my heart says, man, he threw the game away to the Chicago Bears last week with a dumbass throw out there that got returned as a pick six. I can't trust the Titans to finish out a game and do the right thing. I got to take the Jets. I'll go ahead and lay the points. Gosh, I'm laying a lot of points this week, Mike.
I know. And so I'm alone on the island there with that one. I'm taking Tennessee like a fool, probably. I just think that Brian Callahan he's a young coach. And if you heard his press conference, he came right out and called it boneheaded. And I loved his comments. He says, we probably could, in the second half, we could have just punted on first down and won the game. If we punted every first down, we'd probably won the game.
Wow.
So I think they're going to make taking care of the football a premium. And they're going to run. They were able to run the football, by the way, on the Bears. They're not going to have it so easy against the Jets. In hindsight, I've already made the pick. I'm not going to erase it, but I'll tell you, I don't like my pick of Tennessee here. Moving on. The Cleveland Browns, the mistake on the lake at the Jacksonville Jaguars -3. So Jags are laying down 3 against a tough Browns defense coming into their building. I think Cleveland bounces back. I'm going to take Cleveland and lay the 3 points. Again, probably a fool. Mark Schmidt, what do you like?
I'm going to go with you on it, and I feel like a fool too. Because Jacksonville's a good football team. But man, I think Cleveland's going to. I think they're going to bounce back. And two teams are pretty good football teams, as these two are, and the one loses, and both lose in the opening week. You're expecting good football teams to make it 1-1. Well, one of these teams is going to be 0-2, barring a tie, which is so rare. I like Cleveland as the better football team. I'm not even paying attention to the points here so much, but I just like Cleveland right now as a better football team who's going to bounce back.
Mark
But I
Schmidt
don't
says
like my
take the
pick.
money line
But I
on
don't like my pick.
Mark Schmidt says take the money line on Cleveland just to win the game outright.
Exactly.
Russell, Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, and he alluded to a very good thing right there to understand how the gambling works. If you take the money line, yeah, I'm probably taking the Browns on this game. But these teams are very similar. I think this is going to be a knockdown, drag out fight all the way to the end, and it's going to be less than a 3-point win for the Browns, which means I take the Jags -3.
Love it. You're taking the Browns
out there in the gambling.
All three of us.
How these guys get you. This is
All
how
three
Vegas
of us.
gets you. These points.
Broski says he's taking the Jags. And then Chata says Browns by 3. So not only are the Browns giving up the 3, Chata thinks they're going to win by 3. So a 6-point spread. So you could get the odds boosted on that, Chata, if you really feel strong about that pick. Smoking Jeremy B says the Jags. Watson needs Chubb. I don't believe in Deshaun Watson one bit. I probably should change my pick on this and take Jacksonville because Mark brought up a great point there. Both teams 0-1 in week 1, and the home team, they're going to come home and they're going to be hungry to get in the win column. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it, but with reservation. Next game.
I don't know. I'm thinking the same thing too. Now that I sit and think about it a little bit more, and I know we shouldn't be so fickle because the fans out there are probably like, make up your friggin' mind. But
right. We don't care. This is our show.
The wide receivers coach Chad Hall is a friend of mine from Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, Chad, by the way. And I don't know. I want to change. You know what? I'm going with you, Mike. I want to change that back. I want to go with Jacksonville.
You want me to change it here on the official sheet?
Yes, right. I do. Yes, I do.
All right, Mark Schmidt reversing course and going to take the Jags at home. I'm going to roll with my boy Russ Wayne and keep my pick intact. Next game on the docket is the dumpster fire that is the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders -1.5. This Giants team, we had Jeff Risdon, beat writer for the USA Today, on the program the other day, and he said this team is a mess. The New York Giants. The one good thing they got going for them is they're playing the Washington Commanders. Their quarterback, Daniel Jones, 5-1-1 lifetime against the Commanders. So of all the teams, Daniel Jones has the best luck against Washington, but this is a new Washington team. This is the Jaden Daniels guy who I didn't think was going to be that good coming out. He's looking great. And they've got a running attack. Brian Robinson able to run the ball. Terry McLaurin, this is revamped. Dan Quinn, a great coach. I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Commanders here because, I mean, somebody's got to win this game. So I'm taking Washington. Mark Schmidt, what do you got?
I'm going to go with Washington. It's not enough points as far as if it was going to. I like the Commanders. I really do. The Giants, who I'm very familiar with, being in New York, and Daboll being in Buffalo, and shown the GM, his daughter's actually going to school with my daughter at Ole Miss. Anyway, there's some relation there. And my daughter also went to school with Brian Daboll's daughter. Here in Buffalo, his daughter stayed here, but and I like the Giants team personally because being in New York, but I'm gonna take Washington on this one. That's where my brain is. My heart is in New York, but my brain is with Washington. So Commanders.
There you go, 2 for the Commanders, Russell.
Man, the Commanders. I watched that game last week. Jaden Daniels looks like the best quarterback that's coming out of this draft class. When it look, I mean, he's got the threat. I think he was like 17 for 24, and I mean that's not a ton of passes, but when you combine that with the ability with his legs, he looks like Lamar Jackson. Maybe not quite as fast out there, but he looks like he could sling it out there too. I think that Washington wins this game and wins it big.
So you got Washington as well. All 3 of us got Washington. In case you were on the fence about it, Detroit Darcy Maville picked the Giants, so that should have cinched it for you to take the Commanders. All right, moving on.
I'm going to tell him you said that. I am absolutely telling him that.
The LA Rams at the Arizona Cardinals -1. I realize that Arizona played tough last week. I do. I get it. And I realize that Kyler Murray is back and that changes it. But I think that the Rams, even with their beat up offensive line, this is a division game. So you could take a lot of things and throw them out the window, but I think the Rams have to bounce back. When you look at their schedule, if they don't beat Arizona this week, they're staring 0-3 right in the face when they come back and play the Niners, I believe, next weekend. So I'm going to take the Rams, and I'm going to get 1 point on the road. Russell, I'll mix it up. We'll go to you first for this one. Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals.
The Rams, they're going to give the Rams a point on the road. Is that a little bit too much? I think that's way too much respect to give to the Cardinals. That Rams, they traded away their best linebacker, and the guys they had that stepped up, next man up, they had some really good linebacker play for, having a bunch of guys that were supposed to be gone. So I think that this Rams team, especially when you come like week 8 or 9 this year, you're going to notice that this defense is a real legit defense because all of these young guys are going to start gelling right here. So give me the Rams to get some revenge in here, and you're going to give me a point? Thank you.
Right. What do you got, Mark?
I got the Rams. Again, giving way too much credit to the Cardinals. And the Rams, what a tough schedule to start with. I know not with the Cardinals, but with San Francisco and Detroit in the first 3 weeks. That's a tough one. This is a game they have to win because they can obviously, lose next week to San Fran. So it's a game the Rams really need. I'm going with Los Angeles.
I love that call out. Sarah says Cardinals defense sucks. And Matt Stafford should be able to tear them apart. Broski likes the Rams. Henry likes the Rams. David in the house. Welcome to the program, David. Rams are the better team. And Chata says Rams by 4. Love it. Keep the comments coming. You are watching Lions Villain Report, hosted by Russell Wayne. Our special guest today, former NFL wide receiver Mark Schmidt, and who is very involved in the NFL Players Union. We're going to have some shows coming up in the future where we're going to talk to Mark about some off the beaten path topics, if you like. We always love having Mark on the show, but today it's Prediction Thursday. So follow along with us in the chat and let us know. Next game on the docket. Those Cincinnati Bengals, they don't want to start 0-2, but guess what? They got to go to Kansas City. T. Higgins still questionable for the game, so we don't even know if they're going to be at full strength. Cincinnati Bengals at Kansas City, -5. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Mahomes absolutely hates Burrow's guts, and he hates Cincinnati. I'm going to go ahead and take Kansas City. I believe this is also going to be my lock pick. I believe Kansas City is going to win this game by 10 points, and I'm going to win my fantasy league since I have Mahomes and Kelsey. Mark Schmidt, what do you think? Cincinnati at Kansas City.
It'd be interesting to see if T. Higgins does play or not. I think that is a big variable in this game. Not knowing right now makes it a little bit difficult. I think he's a difference maker. Cincinnati got off on a bad foot yet last week against a team that's New England, who's not expected to do much. You would think Cincinnati would bounce back. I don't think so. I think Kansas City is just too strong. I don't know. I thought Cincinnati was going to be something this year, but of course, losing that opening game to New England at Cincinnati was rough. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike.
Russell.
Man, you're going to have the Bengals go out to Arrowhead and you're going to give them 5 points? Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, they call it Burrowhead. They call it Burrowhead Stadium. So you had me for just a minute. Oh shit, he's gonna.
He had me going completely.
I could tell you guys. Where's he going with this?
Fred Peterson says the Chiefs +10. I agree, Fred. And I love this call. Sarah, you're full of great takes today and every day. Bengals always start slow. That's such a good call. The last 2 years, the Bengals have started very slow, and they always pour it on at the end of the year, and they have to play Kansas City at the end of the year. So this year, I think that only adds to it. They got to play the Chiefs early. That's not going to be good for them. Chata says KC by 6. I love this call by Jeremy. Bengals are 0-5 in week 2 with Burrow starting. Not sure if there's anything to that, but I'll have to call out. Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers with Justin Fields likely at the helm against Denver. We don't get to see Denver trot out. We don't get to see Pittsburgh trot out Russell Wilson in Mile High Stadium to get booed profusely. So that will be a bummer. Pittsburgh at Denver. Man, what a toughie. 2.5, right? Vegas knows what they're doing. I'm going to take Denver just because I think this is going to be a 1-point victory for Pittsburgh. I like it 24-23. I'm taking Denver and the 2.5 points. Give me the home team and the points. What do you got, Mark?
Home team and the points. Absolutely. It's funny because it really stinks. I watched Denver all preseason, and they had a wonderful preseason. They won all their games. They played extremely well. Everybody's smiling on the sidelines. Again, it's preseason, and then they come into week one, and you see that oftentimes. They win everything and they lose the opener. I think Denver bounces back this week, guys. I really do. I'd be really surprised if they don't. I think Bo Nix he's due. They're at home. It's a tough kick because Pittsburgh's going to show up and they're going to play hard. But got to take the Denver Broncos. I think that Peyton has calmed himself down now, emotionally and everything else after Wilson leaving, and he's just into coaching now. And it's his football team in the second year. So I'm going with Denver.
Right on. I'm interested to hear what you're going to take here, Russell, but though I do have an idea what I think you're going to take.
Man, when it comes to Mike Tomlin, Mike Tomlin is one of my favorite coaches. And this guy just seems to take other people's scraps and just be able to get the most out of the players right here. I've had this weird feeling ever since Justin Fields went over to Pittsburgh that Mike Tomlin was just going to get this guy, and all of a sudden Justin Fields was going to hit his potential there in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to go with that. Give me the Steelers to go out and give me the Steelers in this game. Give me the.
I like it.
What am I, -2.5 on the road? Give it.
Yes.
Let me lay the 2.5. Give me the Steelers.
Fred agrees with you. He says the defense will tear the Broncos apart. David in the house says altitude sickness. The Orange Crush should win the fourth quarter because Pittsburgh will be gassed. I love this. I love that call out. And then Sarah, you just keep coming in with good takes. I'm going to have to keep putting them up. Steelers defense going to eat Bo Nix alive. And I can hear it in the tone of your comment there. You're just salty that the Vikings didn't draft Bo Nix. I can hear it in the tone of that comment. So coming down to the end now, the Chicago Bears at the Houston Texans -6. I don't think this is even close. I should make this my lock, but I'm not going to change. I'm going to take Houston -6. Man, that looks like a really good lock pick to me. Bears did not look good against Tennessee. Their defense and special teams bailed them out of the game. That Houston defense is going to be tough for a rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams, to go down there on the road and win against Houston. And I think 6 just isn't enough points for me to sway the other way and take Chicago. I'm going with Houston.
Yeah, Mike, I'm gonna go with Houston as well. I was the one. I'm amazed, and I know there's a lot of Bear fans on this show who watch it, but I'm amazed at some of these crazy predictions, and it's all about Caleb Williams showing up and playing like C.J. Stroud last year. I think they're a 9-win football team, the Bears. I just do. That's what hits me in my gut. I just don't think they're going to do it. They're not a 12-win football team in my mind. That's just my opinion, and I'm going with Houston all the way. I like that football team, especially at home. So Houston all the way on that one. That's almost a lock, but not my lock.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I was looking at this one, it was the division matchups, and it's like it may come across as hate because the Green Bay Packers, but I just don't see the Green Bay Packers winning a game with Malik Willis at the helm. Like that is my lock pick and not this lock pick. However, it does mean I am taking the Texans at home. I'll lay the 6 points. I think that Texans, it isn't about the Bears not being as good as the Texans being really good. They might come out of the AFC, in the Super Bowl, from what a lot of people are saying. So give me Texans -6.
Like it. Now, there is a Monday night game that we like to make our picks here for the Monday night game. We will revisit this on the Monday morning Villain Report. If there's any injuries or anything that happens over the weekend, we are allowed to change our pick on Monday for the Monday night game. But it is at the Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles, minus 6.5 on the Monday night game. I like this Atlanta team. I didn't like the way they played last week. I think for sure they're going to bounce back. I love Raheem Morris. I think he's great. I think Kirk Cousins is a much better quarterback. And I just think 6.5 is too many. I see Philadelphia maybe winning this game by a field goal. So I'm running with the Falcons. Mark Schmidt, who you got? This is a tough one.
Rarely do you listen to one of your colleagues here and say you just absolutely were reading my mind. I like Philadelphia to win the game, but they're going to win by 3 points or 4 points and not going to be 6. It's I just struck me. You're telepathic here, Mike. I don't know. We're supposed to give diversity here.
I must be psycho.
Psycho. I'm going with Atlanta, and I'll take those points. I think they're going to play great, and I'm with the Falcons. But I think Philadelphia's going to win the football game. That's going to be a close one. It's going to be another Monday night close one, just like Detroit and LA was on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. Russell, Atlanta at Philly.
And you guys, I don't think this is mind reading. I think that you could kind of see the storm coming right here with the Atlanta Falcons, because last year, how many of these top 10 or our top 11 lists, because our lists go to 11, but how many of these top 11 lists did the Atlanta Falcons show up on with some of these really, really young guys? This team is way better than people think that it is, and it is on the road. But that's 6.5 points right there. And that ain't some rookie quarterback. That's Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins is a good quality pro in this league. I think that the Falcons go in there. They'll definitely cover that. Or not. They'll make it so the Eagles don't cover that, if not win the game outright.
So Russell going with Atlanta as well. I like this. Single Dad says the Eagles are a more complete team. Sarah brings up a great point that Kirk Cousins has not won in Philadelphia in the last 2 years. Maybe a tough place for him to play. That Philly crowd is so hard. Henry Gray says Saquon has turned up this year, so he'll take the Eagles. Dwayne, welcome to the program. Dwayne says Falcons. Broski Bear says Cousins is old and blows something. Right on. So there's one game left on the docket, and that is your Detroit Lions at home against the Creamsicle Pirates. And the Creamsicle Pirates are getting a full 7.5 points. Those Tampa Bay Baker Mayfields are getting a full touchdown and a half. I'm sorry, Lions fans. That's just too many points. You're talking about a team that's won this division the last 3 years in a row. They re-signed all their best guys. They kept them in-house. Not having Antoine Winfield is going to hurt, but that's what's going to keep it really close. I still think 7.5 is too many in the NFL for two playoff teams like this. I'm taking the Buccaneers and the points and hoping that the Lions win the game by any means necessary. Mark Schmidt, your thoughts? Tampa at Detroit minus 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Detroit plays to their competition sometimes. Detroit's a better football team. Could have a little lag down after Sunday night and all that craziness that went on and going into overtime against LA. You could have a little fallback after that type of a game. That's kind of a little bit of an NFL tradition that kind of happens, if you will. So, and I like Baker Mayfield. You either like him or you don't like him. The guy fights hard no matter what. That's one thing you got to say about him. He just doesn't give up. He's done a real nice job, not a great job, but a nice job in Tampa. I hope the Lions win, but I think that the Tampa Bay Bucks will cover that 7.5. I really do.
All right. So Mark Schmidt and I are aligned. We're taking the points. We love the Lions, but 7.5 is a lot in the NFL, Russell.
It is, but I'm a homer. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my homerness right now.
This take brought to you by the Homer Depot.
This one is brought to you by the Homer.
You're always thinking, Mike.
So last week, Matt Stafford got rid of the ball at such a, I mean, they, with the Lions defensive line, they were able to get a pass rush. They got pressures, they got sacks, but Stafford nullified that by getting rid of the ball so quickly. Baker Mayfield is not that guy. With the addition of DJ Reader, I have a feeling that they are going to make this day an incredibly long day when it comes to Baker Mayfield's day. I don't think that they're going to get over 10 points against this Lions defense because he doesn't play like Matt Stafford. So, and then on the other side of the ball, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Out there in the Detroit Lions offensive line, dude. What you gonna do, Tampa Bay, when the Detroit Lions run wild on you? Give me the Detroit Lions. I'll lay all the points, brother.
That's hilarious. We've officially lost. You know that, guys.
I'm ruining all my goodwill I've built up over the first 2 years of picking good games, and yeah, I'm gonna let it all go to shit this year.
Jeremy says the Lions beat the Bucs by 14 with Antoine Winfield in the regular season. That's right, it was 20-6. That's a good call. Mark Gagne in the house says Tampa Bay secondary is banged up. Lions by 10, and then that's a good take. The Lions should beat people. They're an upper echelon team in this league. But 7.5 is a lot. You're talking about a team with a lot of pride and a lot of veterans. One thing I do like is that Carlton Davis has a lot of experience covering Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, right? From being on that team for a long time. I do like that. Of course, we have a Vikings fan who says the Bucs are going to upset us. And then we have a Bears fan who says the Bucs are going to upset us. So that no big surprise there. I do cover. Fred Peterson says DJ Reader going to play, plus the secondary is far better than last season. That's a great call out. Paul Jones says Rick Rude should pick some games next time.
Yeah, what I'd like to have right now is for all of you fat, out of shape, Windy City pissants, keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show all the ladies what a real sexy man looks like. Hit the music.
Hit the music.
Lions by 15.
Love it. So we do have a few more minutes left. There's all of our picks. Just to review last week real quick, I had 8 out of 15. Russell had 7 out of 15. Both of us missed on our lock pick. Russell just by a fraction. I had the Titans. I was typing all kinds of cool stuff at halftime about the Bears, and then they came back and won the game, and not only won the game but covered the spread. So we're both 0-2 on our lock picks to start the year, but we will rebound. I'm 100% sure of it. This week, the lock picks, Russell has the Indianapolis Colts at Green Bay, and he is laying 3 points. My lock pick is something, but we haven't got Mark Schmidt's lock pick yet.
No, this is your chance to lock
Kansas City Chiefs. My lock pick, Kansas City Chiefs -5 against the Bengals. Mark Schmidt, what do you have for a lock pick this week?
I'm going back to Dallas and New Orleans. I know New Orleans plays good defense, and I know it could be a tough game depending on which Derek Carr is going to show up. But that game has just looked at me, and I'm just like, man, I just think Dallas is going to win that game. I see that as a 34-17 game. I kind of do. If not, at least a 28-17 game. I just think that Dallas is just going to roll over them, and I feel pretty confident about that. So Dallas, at home over New Orleans, minus those points.
Yeah, I think it's a great lock pick and a great pick overall. Russell, what do you got? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to change my lock pick because I got to take myself off of the out, and it's just because I found something better. Like as we were going through it, I really started thinking about it, and the lock pick is supposed to be the one with the highest confidence. And I want to troll the Packers, I really do. But I don't want my emotions to get the best of me with that. But when this game came up, Falcons and the Eagles, I got to take the Falcons minus the 6.5 as my lock pick because that's just too much points. Like if I had to look at the one that I'm staring at that I would put money on as the gun to my head no matter what, and you got to pick a game, it would be that Falcons game for them to go in there and at least play the game closer than that, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
So Russ, changing course. He's going to take Atlanta Falcons plus 6.5 at Philadelphia as his lock pick. Mark, thanks so much for being on the program today. I got a jet. I got to get out of here, but I know Russ is going to keep the program going for a little while. All you villains have a great day. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mike. Hey, Russ, you still with me?
Oh, I'm still here. Sarah's telling me I messed up right there. You don't. I just messed up right there. She hates Kirk Cousins so much. This is Sarah is a Viking fan, and I'm still waiting for her to start her Viking podcast so we can, give her some attaboys right there. But yeah, I just messed up right there, didn't I, Sarah? It's the point, Sarah. It's 6.5 points when you're talking. It just seems like such a big thing in the NFL, isn't it, Mark?
Oh yeah. The games are so close, and like Mike was alluding to earlier, the parity and so forth, and there's so much that goes into not becoming 0-2. So some of these good football teams that lost in week 1, like the New York Jets, and the Cleveland Browns, you're looking for them to really bounce back. That's what makes this week really, really tough. And we don't really know that much about the teams and which teams are going to show up this year. We have this preseason speculation, but we're in a situation where it's just not enough information at this point. So this is week 2 is always week 2 and 3 are in my opinion, are the toughest weeks to pick games. Right. It's just it's a smorgasbord. You just don't know what you're going to get. That's just my opinion on it, Russ.
Oh, I mean, for sure, it's tough. I mean, I would just say the first quarter of the year, period, because really, you're basing facts off of what happened a lot of times last year. And when you're talking, 20, at least 30% roster turnover from year to year, you're not even really dealing with the same teams, even on the teams that were really, really good half the time, unless you're the Lions, of course, where they return most of the roster and really they just replaced the secondary and a couple guys that up on the defensive line. And other than that, it was like the same team. But most teams, it seems like they just have such a big roster turnover that how can you even pick it until you see some tape on these guys,
Exactly. That's what makes it so difficult at this point in the season. So, again, I hope the fans don't take us, that make your own picks. That's your decision in the end there. We're just here to suggest. That's about it. But Russell, it's always a pleasure. I love you guys. It's a lot of fun. I love that you get this on YouTube, you get this on my Wikipedia, Google page, and you get it on my Facebook page, put it all over the place. Love this show. I do a lot of podcasts. You guys are one of my absolute favorites.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And what I like to do at the end right here for everybody, and this is just something that we believe in here at the Villain Squad, is faith, family, and football. It's like, and it's in that order, and it helps us keep things into perspective as the people are watching. Like Mark Schmidt, love having you on, and we're gonna plaster this everywhere that we can. But when it comes to faith, family, and football, we got Broski out there. I love you, man. I love you, Sarah. I love you, Bill, the Packer fan, and Mike, the Bear fan. I love you as people. I want the best things to happen in your life. I want you to reach your goals and your dreams, because it's faith, family, and then football. I hate your football team, and that's what helps us keep it into perspective. We can hate on the football team. We even love to get in a little bit of a trash talking on here. But when it comes back to it, it's faith, family, then football. We use football to create memories, to spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. And I'd like to leave you with the blessing, which is, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. That'll be tomorrow for the Lion Villain Report. God bless.
And yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win.
Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple.
Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me is never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy.
Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity.